Sometimes letting go is the boldest choice you can make when you've been tangled in the net of a toxic bond. It often seems like each step away pulls you deeper into the snare, but the reality is the moment you choose yourself, the moment you reclaim your value, the rules shift completely. You go from feeling like the one trapped to becoming the one who decides the terms. The balance of power reverses, and those who once sought to hold you find themselves caught in their own schemes. Toxic people survive on your uncertainty. They twist your kindness, exploit your empathy, and drain your insecurities. They want you convinced that you cannot stand without them, but the gift of awareness is that once you see the trick, it loses its hold forever. When you stop responding, when you reclaim your energy, it forces them to confront the emptiness they've built around themselves. You win by choosing silence over conflict, distance over turmoil, and peace over chaos. You don't need to seek payback or convince them of anything. The greatest victory is to live your life fully, to embrace joy in simple moments, to stand with people who lift your light rather than dimming it. When you shift your vision from them back to you, you begin to restore your strength. Your clarity sharpens, and you see that the freedom you sought was always within your grasp. The chains that bound you were never of steel, they were of mind, and you just shattered them. The truth about toxic souls is that they craft traps but never design them for themselves. When you stop playing their game, when you step off their board, they are left adrift. They counted on reaction, begged for validation, but your absence leaves them with only their reflection to battle. You no longer echo their darkness, and in that silence they face their greatest foe. Healing from poison is not about erasing memory, it is about reclaiming your now. You turn wounds into wisdom, sorrows into strength. You recognize the patterns, not to cling to them but to break free. You choose to rise, to seek what nourishes your spirit, and to build a life where your worth is never doubted. Least of all by you. You stop justifying yourself to those who are determined to twist your truth. Your journey becomes a witness to growth, to bravery, to the strength of moving forward. It is not simple. There will be days you long for the comfort of familiarity, even if that comfort was woven with chaos. But each time you choose yourself, each time you protect your boundaries, you rewrite the script. You are not someone who was left behind. You are someone who embraced freedom. You are not someone who fell. You are someone who rose, learned. The pain that once felt like a burden now feels like armor. You become unshakable, not because you escape hurt, but because you know how to rise from it. Your glow up is not just physical, it is soul deep. It is the quiet strength that commands the space, the steady calm that no storm can break. You stop craving approval from the world outside because you have built refuge within. You stand as your own safe place, and those who once drained your power find they no longer have entry. They remain outside watching, trapped in their own shadows, while you move freely in the light of your truth. When you choose yourself, you give permission for others to rise the same. You become the signpost, the flame. You prove that it is possible to walk away, to heal, to flourish. You are living evidence that breaking free from a toxic bond is not just about leaving a person, it is about leaving an identity. You drop the mask of the wounded and step into the armor of the warrior. Your past may carry echoes of hurt, but your future is a blank masterpiece, and you hold the pen. Moving on does not mean you erase, it means you forgive yourself for staying as long as you did. It means you accept your love was genuine even if theirs was empty. It means you know the closure you longed for was always within your own hands. You shut the door not with anger, but with gratitude for the wisdom. You step away not as one shattered, but as one who chose to rebuild. And so the real power is not in what they lost, but in what you gained. You claimed your victory by stepping ahead, by refusing to let your story be stained by their toxicity. You are no longer chained, you are free, and those who fed on your struggle are left with the hollow void they once tried to fill with your flame. You move on steady and unmoved, proof of the truth that the greatest revenge is choosing happiness. Life is a game of precision, and you have always been a strategist of the board while others rushed in haste, revealing their hands too soon. You remained composed, reading the field, studying every move. You knew that the strongest player is never the one who strikes first, but the one who chooses when to wait. You watched as they moved rashly, overvaluing their grip, undervaluing your patience. They thought victory was theirs, their certainty a mask wrapped over a fragile plan. But the game is never done until the last piece falls, and your winning card was always close to your chest. They believed they had trapped you. They moved with arrogance, setting snares they were sure you'd fall into. Blindly they mistook your silence for weakness, your calm for surrender. What they never understood was that every step you took was intentional. You let them believe they were in control, to assume they were ahead. All the the while steering them into the trap of their own creation. You knew true power is never in loud displays but in quiet strategy. Influence rests in the art of making your enemies believe they hold freedom, while every road they take leads to the same, and every decision they thought was theirs was only a step into the design you set, a web where each thread pulled tighter with their every move while they chased small victories. You were constructing a fortress, stone by stone, silent and relentless. They acted with impatience, seeking quick rewards while you committed to the long game. And now as they awaken inside the trap, the truth is revealed. You were never playing to survive, you were always playing to conquer. There is a dark grace in the way you shaped it. You let them reveal themselves, expose their schemes. You masked intention behind calm and stillness. You became their reflection, feeding them their own pride, showing only what you wished them to believe. And while they celebrated their illusion of triumph, you prepared the field for their checkmate. Now they are bound not by your hands but by their own. They erected the walls and you merely sealed the gate. The brilliance of your triumph lies in its restraint. You never needed shouts or dramatic displays. You did not answer chaos with chaos. Instead you stood steady, the center of the storm, watching as they consumed their own strength. They became the makers of their downfall, and you the quiet force steering them toward it. Now they remain stranded in the wreckage of their own choices, while you remain untouchable, unmoved, the only one who saw the end from the start. They are caged not by chains but by thoughts, replaying every word, searching for where they lost control. They recall your calm, the subtle signals you gave, the way you never bent to their provocations. Their mind becomes their prison, each memory a shackle, each regret a key. They see you not as an adversary but as a specter, a haunting echo of their failed moves. They realize too late the deadliest power was never your strength but your patience. You withheld not from weakness but because you waited for the strike that would end it. While they claw for escape, you step forward, your movements precise, your spirit clear, your victory unstained. You do not boast, do not beg recognition. Your triumph is not found in their ruin but in your discipline. You mastered the field not by chance but by choice. You selected your battles, timed your moments, and now the board is yours. The pieces broken, the contest finished, and you the last left standing. This is no ordinary win, it is a coronation. You now reign over the reality you shaped, while they wander lost in the labyrinth they thought they commanded. Their terror is sharp, they know they are trapped, but what cuts deeper is knowing they never once held control. They see now that every step they took was influenced, every step they made was directed. They every step they followed was directed, every step they chose was shaped. They are not prisoners of fate but of their own pride. You were the master and they moved to rhythms they never sensed. Their vanity blinded them from the truth that you were always 10 moves ahead, that the contest was fixed not by trickery but by patience and accuracy. Patience is a blade few grasp, it is not stillness but the art of waiting for the strike at the perfect instant. You carried it as a weapon, every silence, every pause a sharpened edge. While they raced forward hungry for quick triumphs and fleeting praise, you stood calm, watching, measuring each hesitation was not doubt, it was a stone in the prison. Now sealing them, they acted as though the contest was easy, that the first to advance would be the one to claim it. They could not read the field the way you could. They fixed on the moment, on the shallow reward of small wins. They played for cheers, for recognition, convinced that the loudest voices held the crown. But as they scrambled for attention, you stacked your plan brick by brick, silence by silence. You let them think they were ahead, that their speed meant power. They mistook patience for weakness, but you knew otherwise. Patience was dominance. Each choice they made was a map of their soul. You studied how they broke under weight, how easily they cracked, how quickly they revealed their hand. You let them set the tempo, knowing that haste breeds error. They saw your calm and mistook it for inactivity, but you were merely letting the storm collapse, knowing true strength belongs to those still rising. When the dust settles now, as they awaken, they see the barriers you forged not from stone and iron but from their own mistakes and your unshaken discipline. While they were tearing bridges, you were carving paths. You never had to push them into a trap. They walked there proudly, guided by their own ego. Every rash act, every reckless word, every hasty step was another turn deeper into the labyrinth of their own creation. You never drove them, they ran. You only watched as their road narrowed, as the exits closed one by one. Now they are imprisoned, not because you forced them but because they thought they stood above fate. Your restraint allowed them to craft their own bars, and now you hold the key. They sit in a cage built by their own hands. They press against cold walls, searching for weakness, but your plan was perfect. Every time delay relay every silent move, a foundation you never lunged too soon. Never let anger guide your choices. While they lashed out, you stayed back. While they exposed their schemes, you sealed yours. They imagined they fought you, but in truth they were fighting only themselves. You simply gave them the stage and watched as they carved their own ruin. Your patience was never a mere tactic, it was a revelation. You proved that true strength does not always shout. Sometimes it is the silence that is most deadly. While they wasted themselves striking at illusions, you stayed unmoved. Gathering weight, they mocked your still presence, but now their laughter is gone. It has turned to quiet, the same quiet they once ridiculed. They see now that every pause you held was time you commanded. They are ensnared, locked in a trap they never saw until the doors closed. You became the designer of their downfall, not by caging them yourself, but by letting them raise the walls around their own freedom. You resisted nothing, knowing their haste would only push them deeper into the maze. You knew the reckless never notice the holes in the path ahead. They thought they were chasing you, but you spun them in circles. Now the predator is the prey, the hunter bound by its own device. You remain just beyond reach, a shadow flickering at the corner of their eyes, a whisper that you always held the strings. They see at last that patience is not weakness, it is the art of letting the opponent reveal their hand while you shield yours. It is wisdom to know silence can speak louder than words, that stillness can shape movement. You let them drain themselves, let them waste their energy, let them collapse in exhaustion. And when the final stone of their plan gave way, you advanced not with rage but with clarity. You never had to strike, you merely let the gravity of their own decisions fall upon them. Their fear is a chorus, you hear it in their frantic search, in their trembling voices, in the empty excuses they offer. They are trapped not by your chains but by their own. They see clearly now that as they plotted against you, you were arranging the game. They thought they were clever, setting snares, but each snare only drew them deeper into your pattern. You played with precision, not with speed but with design. Now all that remains are the echoes of choices they cannot undo, the ghosts of the exits they sealed with their own hands. Sometimes the sharpest tactic is letting them taste victory. You knew this before it began. You understood the psychology of triumph, how hollow it is for those who think it came easily. You let them cheer, allowed them to glow in the false warmth of their illusions of success, never once betraying your plan. Your patience was a quiet storm, and they never saw the lightning gathering above them. They believed they had won. They paraded their illusions, mocked your calm, mistook your control for surrender. They advanced recklessly, loudly mistaking noise for authority. You watched in silence the predator hidden in dusk, knowing that the greatest dangers are the ones that cannot be seen. They thought they had claimed the game, but you were never following their rules. You were designing the board, shaping a path that led only to their collapse. Now, as they stand cornered by their own steps, they see that every triumph they praised was nothing more than a step into the snare. Your brilliance lived in the art of redirection. You handed them the illusion of choice, the freedom to move, but every path they took carried them deeper into your design. You never forced them, they ran blindly. You never shoved them into the corner. They painted themselves there too, fixated on the moment to see the end. While they chased shadows, you laid the ground, ensuring that no matter the moves, the end was sealed. The strings were in your hands, and they danced believing the song was their own. The beauty of illusion lies in how it blinds, and when they thought they were winning, it only sharpened the weight of reality. They grew drunk on arrogance, their confidence a venom they swallowed willingly. They mocked your calm, ignored your subtlety, ridiculed your stillness. They were so obsessed with victory they never asked why every door opened, why the path was so smooth, why resistance never came. Now as the doors slam shut, as the walls collapse inward, they hear only the hollow echo of their own laughter fading into nothing. You knew all along in every game, pride is the sharpest blade. You let them turn it inward. They stumbled not because you struck, but because they blinded themselves with imagined success. You gave them no fight, no wall to climb, no storm to brace against. They dulled their own edges, believing silence meant surrender. Now they are caged not by force but momentum, each step driving them deeper into their own entrapment. And now they begin to see the truth, the brilliance of your control. They replay each moment, searching for a turn they never had, but the truth was there all along. They never held the board you wrote, the script set the stage, built the trap. They were actors in your play, and the curtain has fallen, stranding them in a story with no exit. They see now that their victory was dust, a mirage in the heat of your design. You let them claim the lead, but now they are stranded by walls of their own creation. While they claw for escape, you remain still, calm and certain, needing no gloating, for their fear is your triumph. You are master of subtlety, knowing true power does not strike but waits. You knew when to fade back, when to hold the line, when to let illusion breathe. Every pause was precise, every silence a weapon. And now as they scramble backward, every door is sealed, every path collapsed. The labyrinth they are trapped within was not yours to build, you merely let them walk, until it swallowed them whole. Their despair is proof of your patience turned to power, tangible they turn to you for relief, for forgiveness, but you grant nothing. You gave them chances to face the truth, to pause, to rethink. They dismissed every warning, blinded by their own greed. Now the walls tighten and they see that the match they believed was theirs was never meant to be one. They are not casualties of your design, they are captives of their own pride. You did not forge their prison, you merely guided them toward it. The real brilliance of your craft is that you stayed untouched while they wasted their strength. You preserved yours while they exposed their plans. You concealed yours. You are the outline at the corner of their sight, the stillness within their storm. You never need to strike because the wound was already delivered. You let them think they were ahead until the instant they saw they had already fallen. Now they are bound and you are unchained. The designer of the match, the controller of the field, the one who set the play from the very beginning. True dominance is born from quiet actions. You grasped this timeless law, wielding it like a veiled dagger while they made noise, drawing attention to their every gesture. You moved unseen, each motion precise, each step measured. They mistook noise for power, convinced that those who roar the loudest carry the most weight. But you always knew the truth. You knew that the deadliest presence is the one that remains hidden, the murmur that disturbs, the shape that lingers just outside the edge of vision.